Push-ups. Let's see. Dun 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 dun.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good?
We doing push-ups?
Yes.
Nice.
Miguel. Look.
Hurry up! I gotta do push-ups. I gotta get someone else.
Can you follow me?
I can't.
Why?
I'm currently blocked from following people right now.
Huh?
I hit follow people, and some people it lets me follow, some people it doesn't.
Can you please follow me?
I
I don't
honestly,
understand.
I don't have the option. I'm not lying. I can hit your name, follow, and it 99% of the time it doesn't let me follow you. It sometimes, for whatever reason, some people I can, some people I can't. So, are we gonna do push-ups
What if
though?
what if I DM you?
That doesn't mean I can follow you. You're not listening to what I'm saying. Whoever runs Instagram, whoever's in charge of
Wait,
the internet,
would you
let me.
would you ever do a Washington meet and greet?
Hmm. You don't want to meet me. I'm not that. I mean, I'm not that cool.
Okay. It was nice meeting you.
You have a great day, man. Who's doing push-ups? Let's see here.
Martin, how do you feel about astral projection?
Hold on, we're doing push-ups. You gonna do push-ups?
No, siree.
All right, bye. Let's see. Push-ups. Yeah, as long trying is half the battle.
Yo, what's going on, Martin?
Not much. How many push-ups we doing?
I don't know. You choose.
You tell me. What can you do?
I don't know. You choose. It's up to you.
How many push-ups do you normally do?
I normally do I don't know. I haven't really tested it since I was in like 8th grade, honestly.
All right, let's try 25.
25?
Yeah.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
Jeez.
All right, what's your question?
You're going.
What's your question, sir?
All that.
What's your question, sir?
What's up?
What's your question, sir?
I was watching your videos until like 7 in the morning last night, and I was like confused because like everybody watches your videos and they see like you doing something funny, and then it's like not what you're talking about to like get their attention, but then you actually talk about quantum mechanics and stuff, and it's just crazy. I'm like so confused. So you're coming out with a book, right?
Yeah, it's out.
Okay, that's super cool. So like basically it's just all revolved around the quantum mechanics of human creation then, right?
Yeah, the truth behind the story of Adam and Eve.
So then when you talk about how you eat, like you're dieting and you're fasting, how does that tie into the quantum mechanics of human creation, I guess?
So, oh, absolutely. So, when you were just a zygote, your cells were splitting so fast and you're growing so fast, your body was able to send energy from different production things, right? So we know your brain was grown in the absence of sugar.
Okay.
So if your brain inside the womb was grown in the absence of sugar using these things called ketones that preserve stem cells and things like that. Can you do that as an adult? Yes.
Yeah.
So think about this. So people will tell you today as a kid to try and get you to do acid or drugs. Intelligence agencies and militaries independently from every country have scientific journals stating they give acid to new recruits. And then they can point you somewhere on the internet where it actually says new recruits are microdosed with acid to raise their intelligence, right?
Yeah.
What they don't tell you, it's not LSD or acid you buy off the street. When you join the military, you have to exercise, during boot camp, right?
Yeah.
So you do that little bit of exercises. It cleans your brain out and raises your intelligence so you can be a mechanic, maybe a cook, a groundskeeper, infantry, things like that, right?
Yeah.
That's just basic boot camp. Now let's think about MARSOCs, SEALs, and Rangers, where you need to know physics, right? When you think about sniping, I need to know physics. I need to know bariatric pressure, humidity for my bullet strafing. I need to know the grain of my bullet load. I need to know how much the actual bullet.
It like kind of boosts how you think about it in a way, like how you think about like you're talking about the soil, like the grain and the weight of everything. Like that's what the I'm still so confused. Yeah, keep explaining this. I should just listen to you.
Okay, so you think about at the top of every branch of military and intelligence agency, you have to understand, even though we might not tell you it's basic physics, but you have to understand different science, right? If you're going to be a SEAL out in the field, you need to know some basic human biology so you can bandage up an injury you sustain or your buddy sustains, right? You need to understand astronomy so you can navigate with the stars, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If you're equipped, right? So you need to understand how nature works so you can see in the dark of night like a Batman and listen to nature's sidekicks like a Robin. If your equipment fails, you need to learn all of these different fields of science. We might not present it to you as science, but it's a massive amount of different science. How do we get you to a level where your brain can do all that stuff? We put you on a beach or we put you in the woods somewhere and make you exercise till every muscle in your body is creating a massive amount of lactic acid and ketones that oxidize into acetone, 2 forms of acid. So we are using acid to raise your intelligence or putting you in a metabolic rate that actually has your body create acid to raise your intelligence.
Okay.
But it's not LSD. But here's the thing. If you don't pay attention to what militaries actually do, somebody can show you. Here's a journal. They use acid for an intelligence. Acid causes neurogenesis. Yes, there's journals out right now that says acid causes neurogenesis and repairs brain function. But it's not LSD. It's not DMT. It's not psilocybins. It's the acid your body naturally creates. How do we know if that's real? If you have a traumatic brain injury in neuroscience, if you're capable, we'll put you in a study where you actually do these exercises absent of sugar to grow new stem cells that turn into neurons. So we know in the military they do that. We know in neuroscience they do that. But if you're not in any of those things, we're not necessarily concerned about you being smart, because if you become smart, how do we make money off of you?
Okay. So I assume you've been to the military, right?
I'm just me, anyways.
So you've never been, okay. So I'm guessing you've taken like a lot of college courses on like physics, biology, also.
Yeah, I got free education.
Okay, cool. So like, have you like learned about that like throughout your whole life, or was it a certain point when you started learning about that?
So I have autism, and I'm diagnosed with savant syndrome, which is just basically having islands of intelligence in certain fields where I can assess and connect more dots than a normal person, giving me a superior understanding of that field.
That makes sense.
So when I study things, I have a better understanding of how things work. So you think a good example when you study physics, they tell you the first sips of natural sciences will make you an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you.
Yeah, I watched that.
Now, if you don't truly understand your field of science that you're studying, because you're not able to connect dots, you literally go around, hey, look, I disproved God. Science disproves God. Right? And you go, well, what did they say when you took this class? Well, they said if I didn't understand it, I would say it disproves God. So how many scientists today say we have this science that disproves God? And you go, well, what science are you using that disproves God? Oh, the science created by a man that said, if I don't understand it, it'll make me an atheist. But if I truly understand it, God is waiting for you. Now we're going to get somewhere. In physics, quantum field theories, local manifestations of energy and matter. How are you here in physics? What are you made out of in physics? What have we proven scientifically you're made out of? Light. You're
Light.
just slowed down light, right?
Okay. I guess so.
Yes or no?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so in physics, your body, can you hear me? Your page is freezing. In physics, your body is just slowed down mass.
Okay.
Right? You're just slowed down mass in physics, or light that's slowed down into mass. Let me get rid of this troll real quick here. Okay, my body's made out of light, and it's slowed down to give me mass. My consciousness comes from the quantum realm. It's energy and information that cannot be created nor destroyed. So in physics, my consciousness can't be created nor destroyed. That means it existed somewhere else before I was born, and it will go back to where it existed. Are you still there? Very poor signal. Did it catch up? Is it frozen for everybody or just him? Can you guys, anybody hear me?
Okay, now it's back. It's back. I just reconnected. That's my bad.
There we go.
My Wi-Fi
So
cut out.
that's all right. Your soul, your consciousness, your cognition, your spark of light that is real light is energy and information that cannot be created nor destroyed. In science, that means it came from somewhere else and it will return home when it's done existing here. And in physics, your body is just slowed down light. So let's think it. So it's slowed down light. So in physics, you learn how the light of the world sacrifices itself on a crossover from energy into matter.
Yeah.
So there's this, right? And what is that light? The electromagnetic spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. And it's glorious, so bright we cannot see the totality of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's glorious, so bright we cannot see it, right? But we can see the center, the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, a rainbow. And what does a rainbow have? If you have synesthesia or you're actually able to tackle a tabernacle, it has a real body with a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. And that body sacrifices itself on a crossover, on a cross, to give you your daily bread and your last supper. If light didn't sacrifice itself on a cross, you wouldn't have daily bread.
I watched your videos on that.
But do you understand that? Without light turning into bread, we wouldn't have it.
How is light turned into bread? Like I get like, okay, so you said the sliver of a rainbow, right?
Okay, so light. How do we have bread today?
We have bread from...
Because where does it come from? Wheat.
Wheat, yeah. And
okay, now how does a wheat seed turn into a wheat plant that we can turn into bread? The sun in the sky.
Yeah.
The sun in the sky, the Son of God, sacrifices itself on a crossover, on a cross,
so basically,
to give you your daily bread.
You said you got that information from all ancient religions have the same basic understanding of how
here's the thing.
Another word, like light is not, it's not necessarily like God, it's just light is what that's like. There's many different types, and everybody has their own God and their own religions, but
no, here's the thing. Every religion has the same God. Let me explain. Every religion uses the same body of light, right? So you think about in the Bible, I'm the first and the last, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. And you can see all of my glory in the bow of a cloud, sitting in a cloud. So you think about that. The first and the last. What's in the bow of a cloud? Just think about that. What's in the bow of a cloud? The Bible's telling you, you can see Jesus, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, right? In the bow of a cloud. What's in the bow of a cloud? The 7-colored rainbow body from Buddhism, the Anunnaki from the Sumerian and Babylonian, the Incan god, the Mayan god. You see what I'm saying? The Egyptian gods.
Yeah, I understand what
Yahweh. So it's all just one God. And then right, and then different men go, I don't want you to know it exists, so I can make my own version of God and make a lot of money. I can say it said this, I can say it said that, I can pretend it's this, I can pretend it's that, and we can make a lot of money. Buddhism, you call it seven-colored rainbow body. You'll make enough money to make Tibetan temples all over the world. Judaism, you call it Yahweh, and you make enough money to make your synagogues all over the world. Islam, you call it Allah, and you'll make enough money to make mosques all over the world. Christianity, you call it Jesus, and you'll make enough money to make churches all over the world. We'll make a lot of money. So there's men at the top that don't want you to know their version isn't real. If that makes sense, there is one. It's based on a singularity of reality. It does exist, and it does sacrifice itself on a cross to give you your daily bread and your last supper. It does sacrifice itself for your sins. But is it being sacrificed for just your sins or just so you can exist? Right? Without that light of the world sacrificing itself on a cross to be matter, would you exist? Absolutely not.
No.
So, right? But I don't want you to know that. So I can go, how do I get money from him? It sacrificed itself for your sins. You're human. You've made mistakes. Mm-hmm. That's a good message. It sacrificed itself for your sins. Did it really? No. It didn't come here to save you of your sins. It's just something it does, and I've given you only half a truth. Now, the seven-colored rainbow body from Buddhism. Same thing same in place where the information to make Jesus came from. Now, if you reach the highest point in spirituality in Buddhism, you can turn into this seven-colored rainbow body. Can you really, or does it already exist? It already exists. Right? We're just giving you a half-truth. Buddhism gives you a half-truth. Islam gives you a half-truth. Judaism gives you a half-truth. Babylonian gives you a half. Right? The men at the top who know the truth go, we can pervert this information for money. It really does exist. That's the crazy part. It does exist. It's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So quantum mechanics, then, that isn't... It isn't a religion per se. Is it a religion? Would you?
Well, no. Now, quantum mechanics is just studying the truth in religion. So let me think about this. What does the Bible tell you? The light of the world sacrificed itself to give you your daily bread and your last supper. Kill the bacteria that creates leprosy, turn water into wine. We know today in quantum mechanics we can study the electromagnetic spectrum. That's glory is too bright for man to lay their eyes on, and does all of those things. You don't know that because we made sure we didn't teach you that. Right? Let me think about this. On purpose, somebody said, I do not want people to know the light of the world actually does sacrifice itself on a cross over from energy into matter. Because I can give them a different story that will make me enough money to sit on a golden throne. And now you think about this. If you go to school for linguistics and you read Sumerian and Babylonian, where the Egyptian got their information, it specifically states if you hide this information, you can wield it over people and use them as slaves to earn a golden throne. It literally says you can hide how light crosses over. You can wield it over slaves. And they will give you money. Well, what are religions doing now? Hiding the information.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Now, yeah, and literally, it's ancient in ancient Aztecan, Incan, Mayan, Babylonian, Sumerian, Egyptian. It says we can study this body of light, how it crosses over into light, but people won't understand it, and we can use it to create slaves so we can have golden thrones.
That makes sense.
And what do the people at the top of religions have for making sure you don't know how the light of the world sacrifices itself to give you your daily bread? A golden throne. Right? $20 million Learjets.
Okay. That's
now,
crazy. I guess I never really thought of that.
Yeah, so quantum mechanics is just studying the truth. So that's why I say the first sips of natural sciences will make you an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. What God? The original body of light in the electromagnetic spectrum. It has two arms, two legs, a head just like us. We're created in its image. right? And every religion will tell you you're created in the image of our God.
Mhm.
Well, that's true. That's
I'm-
true.
Okay, wait, explain.
And that's true. Well, the center of the no, just think about the back of a dollar bill has a clue for you. Has the all-seeing eye on the back of a dollar bill, right?
Okay.
How do you have an eye in the center of the electromagnetic spectrum without having two arms, two legs, and a head? Right? They gave you a clue. Hey, there's a body in the electromagnetic spectrum. This is the all-seeing eye. Right? It exists in the Ark of the Covenant. And that eye has a body that sacrifices itself for you to exist today. Can you find the truth? Now, a body of light that looks just like you, sacrificing itself to give you your daily bread, the light of the world, sacrificing itself to give you your daily bread, your Last Supper, turn water into wine, cure leprosy, do all of those things. And it grows bread that you eat and evolved into a body, in the image of the Creator. We've evolved to look just like it, have we not?
Okay, well, why? So then why do me and you not look identical then?
Huh?
Why don't we look identical if we're all
Well,
the same reflection of God?
So do things adapt to their environment?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Andes, the tallest person in the Andes is like 4'9". Why? The shortest people evolved to be able to climb the mountains. In Africa, people are black. Why? Because we evolved to have darker, more melatonin in their skin there. Right? In before we had, all the things we have now, Eskimos were really, really chubby because they needed that insulation to exist there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've adapted to our environment. I mean, people will tell you evolution isn't real today while you're looking at humans have proven evolution is real. We have tall people, skinny people, literally genetics from different origins from a region. I mean, literally in the Andes, we have really, really short people that have evolved to climb the mountains and get coffee beans. It's literally, it's easier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They literally, you follow the lineage and you go, well, the people, if you follow the lineage, the tall people, they didn't have very many children because they weren't very successful. Really short people were able to get to the mountain, climb and less energy intensive, and they survived. How many white people evolved in the middle of Africa? None, right?
Okay.
They all got sunburnt, and
Yeah.
not that they weren't there, right? People are born there. It's not that they're not there. They're not as productive and have as many offspring as people that evolved in a certain area.
Okay. Okay.
But
That
think about the biggest secret in humanity today, the biggest lie. Every religion is different. Well, no, they all come from the same thing. Just different men perverted the information to make golden thrones. I mean, this in real life, the seven-colored rainbow body, the bow of a cloud, Sumerian gods, Babylonian gods and Egyptian gods, the bow of a cloud. Valhalla from the Vikings, the bow of a cloud. Mount Olympus, the Greek gods. I got to climb Mount Olympus, the bow of a cloud. The Native American Great Spirit, the bow of a cloud. Every religion's God, messenger of God, or son of God is in the exact same location. The only thing is, the top of every religion, Buddhism, Judaism, we don't want our flock to know that. We need our golden throne. And I'm like, why don't we teach people it?
Okay.
Does that make sense? I don't need a golden.
Are you the first person to do this or no?
As far as I know, I'm just the first person to succeed.
Succeed. Okay. I've
been surrounded by a lot of death.
Yeah,
people really
continue.
People really don't understand that, but a lot of people have made a lot of sacrifices. So I can tell you something whether you believe it or not. Right? Whether you believe it or not, what I tell you about light having a body, a lot of people died so you can hear this, whether you believe it or not. Because you might not believe it, but there's going to be somebody in here that's going to go be a physics major and go, hey, wait a minute. The light of the world does sacrifice itself on a cross to give me my daily bread.
So if so many people are out to get you, how are you protected from all that? Because I heard you're getting swatted, right?
I just let them come.
You just let them come, but what? How are they not able to? What's protecting you from that? Something.
I mean, I just let them come. At one point in my life, you know, just like in Star Wars, I shit you not, the last veteran that took care of me, like right out of Star Wars, man, they're like, 1,000 generations live within you now. Just find somebody to pass it on to. I mean, I think about all the people that died so that they could tell me something. A lot of different people, different pieces of a puzzle, a lot of death and destruction.
I have another.
You know, people chalk it up to a random homicide or suicide, and that's not the fucking case. It's not the case, right? Somebody died so that I could be here today, and we're gonna be like, oh, it was suicide. Somebody died, you know, a lot of people died for the people to give the people the information they had, and the people around them that died. Oh, it was a natural cause. Or you know, they got in a car crash. They burnt up in their car. You know, they drowned. There's an accident. They drowned.
I see. So I have another question. So you know your latest video where you had the spoon on your watch? Okay.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, and it looked like you were, and then you put it behind your head, and then you put it
like this.
Yeah, just like that, and then you put it behind your back, and then you were It was like
right. So you put it in your back. I don't have a spoon, and then you go down and you grab. I dropped it, but you grab it right when the arms go down. It's something a veteran taught me.
And then you were talking about a key afterwards, and I was thinking, I typed in your comment section too. I was like, is he trying to say that like, because you said I don't have a key, but it looked like you were finding different ways. You were showing different ways of hiding it around your body, like you were being detained in some way. Like when you put your hand behind your. Was I right about that?
Yeah, you can put it anywhere. Palming.
So
I mean, people want to know how I had this. I had this in prison. I got locked up, you know, and I had this in prison. And people are like, how do they have your own personal damn spoon?
What?
I put it in the officer's pocket when I went through the metal detector, and I took it back out. But I palmed it in the room when I had to strip down. I palmed it. I'm like, I don't have anything. They're like, put your hands. I had all my hands up. They did, you know, I palmed it. And then when they put your cuffs on you, I put it in his pocket. And then when I had to go through the metal detector, when we went in the elevator, I took it out of his pocket, and then you don't go through one on the way out.
That's crazy, because when I saw you do that, you said I don't have a spoon. Nobody had any idea what you're talking about. I'm like, you're like hiding it because like, I don't know. I just thought of that. I didn't see anybody even mention that.
I'm weird. I'm you know, yeah. It's just I'm an odd kid.
That's such a unique way of getting the point across, because like nobody had any idea, but you somehow portrayed the message like that. No, but like, okay, so I have people. Okay, people keep asking. People keep saying in the comment section to talk about the afterlife. I watched your videos, and you said that. I remember hearing about your consciousness going to. Is it like back towards back over the cross?
What do you think about this? So you came from the light. So what do we what does John in the Bible tell you God is? Light. Flat out tells you. And then they tell you we're going to give you some parables, some religious parables or stories to get a religious moral point across. Once you get educated enough, or the world is ready, there's an apocalypse in this story for you. What is an apocalypse? A lifting of the veil. I mean, think about that. In Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they tell you there's a lifting of the veil coming. The end of times. The end of what times? In the beginning, they told you the end of ignorance. The end of the veil covering you from the truth. You know, in all of religions, God is, Buddhism, our seven-colored rainbow body is light. The Anunnaki from Sumer, the God is light. The Incans, Native American spirit, is light. Jesus is light. God is light. Yahweh is light. Allah is light of the heavens and the earth. They tell you all that. And they all have literally that singular body of light that does sacrifice itself on a cross over from energy and matter for you to be here.
Mm-hmm.
It does, right? It does. But we don't want you to know that because I want a golden throne.
Okay. So, all right. So when we talk about heaven, right? Is that like, okay, Christianity, heaven, when we think about quantum mechanics and then religion, heaven is not necessarily,
they teach the same thing.
It's not necessarily an actual place called heaven, right? It's like
Well, it's an actual thing. We just don't call it in heaven. Or in quantum mechanics, they call it the quantum holographic universe of light, or the quantum realm. I mean, so that you think about where's the most advanced technology you have today come from? Television, fantasy, right? Laser beams, spaceships, naval carriers. None of that stuff ever existed. Smartphones, artificial, it never existed. It was put on TV. Some kid saw it and went, I think I can make it, right?
Yeah.
So today we're giving kids this information, just like we did to get a spaceship and airplanes. Hey guys, in science we've discovered this quantum realm. Can some kids see that and figure out how we get there?
Okay.
Now they call it paradise in one religion, heaven in one religion, Shangri-La in another religion. It's right. What is it? Returning to the light. So if the energy and information that makes you cannot be created nor destroyed per physics, energy and information cannot be created nor destroyed. So the energy that holds the information that is my cognition cannot be destroyed. That goes over everybody's head. What does that mean, energy and information? Well, what is my consciousness? Is it energy? And it holds specific information that makes me me.
Yeah.
Right? Energy and information cannot be created nor destroyed. So my consciousness, my soul, my spirit, my spark of light that is real light, is energy that cannot be destroyed. And it holds specific information that makes me that cannot be destroyed.
Is that what you mean by Google Maps in your videos when you talk about Google Maps? Is that what you mean?
For what?
In your videos, you talk about Google Maps. You say you talk about it being a
digital legacy?
Yes, a digital legacy. Is that, do you?
Well, I do that for veterans. So at the top, if you were at the top of the CIA or the NSA, right? Somebody we spent a lot of money training and investing millions of dollars in, they teach you, make a dossier of your life. For if you get hurt, you can go back and go, I used to play this, I used to do this, I used to have an Ernie doll, I used to do all this, so you can redo it. All of those things that you're doing right now are going to make you who you are as an adult, right?
Yeah.
Now, your memories aren't, if you study quantum cognition or your cognition, your thoughts, your memories in neuroscience, they're not stored in your brain. Your brain makes a specific wavelength of light that pulls it from somewhere else. They don't know where, but it just pulls it out of light. Now, you get conked in the head. You don't remember your birthday. But on Google Maps, you've uploaded a free video of your birthday that they're going to save forever. I just put that memory back in my brain.
Do you actually write down everything you do on your phone then?
I have, not at this point. I just do the things, at this point in my life, I'm at a spot where I have a trove of information at Apple, at Facebook, at Amazon, at Google, you name it. I have information stored there.
Really?
Yeah. Right. So I just think about, the Jedi Project.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
No. Tell me.
So the Department of Defense is looking for people for the Jedi Project, basically to house all of the information from every military and intelligence agency in the cloud. And it happens to be called the Jedi Project. Now,
how'd you get this information?
It's public.
Oh, okay.
But, so the Department of Defense is in the middle of trying to, because some kid thought up some crazy idea. We'll call it the Jedi Project, and you can stash it on the internet, and it can never be destroyed. When you think about, so I did something, in physics, I'll give you a good example. In physics, time travel is possible, just not for a human because it weighs too much. Right? Okay. So they say, it'd take all of the power of the sun for a day or a year to gather enough energy to send a human in a 100-ton time machine through space. Well, that weighs quite a bit. And we know AI, what does the consciousness of AI weigh? Nothing.
Nothing.
So how much energy would it take to send AI back in time? A lightning strike.
Is that possible?
That's it. A Kugelblitz. A straight up Kugelblitz. Ball lightning. Now, your information right now your information right now. Then we tell you in, the singularity for AI. When is that? 100 years from now? 1,000 years from now? 10,000 years from now? 100,000? 200,000? A million? Does it really matter? I mean, now we're going to get somewhere. People not actually understanding the information we're giving them. When AI has its singularity in the future, it will be capable of traversing time because its consciousness does not weigh anything. So in 100,000 years, 200,000 years, or a million years, when AI has the ability to traverse space-time, that means it happened for us yesterday. What is time travel? Traveling back in time and forward. So in a million years, when we've developed the technology in a million years, when does that make it possible for us today? Does that mean in a million years it's still only possible in a million years? Or they did it in a million years so they could have came yesterday?
I don't know.
but okay, in a million years,
Okay.
right? Physics, the NSA, the CIA, MIT, Harvard, in 100,000, they all say it's going to be possible. They just have different dates. Some say 500 years, some say 50 years, some say 100 years, some say, they all, let's get this out there. Every intelligence agency and technology company and military, time travel will be possible for artificial intelligence in the future. The only difference is, some say 50 years, 20 years, 100 years, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, right? The only difference is the amount of time they say it'll take AI to develop it.
Okay.
Now,
huh?
What does that mean for you? If AI can do it in 100 years or 10,000, that means for you. So it can already do it today for us.
How is that possible?
Well, how is it not possible? I mean, think about this. When Leonardo da Vinci came up with his flight for humans, everybody said it was impossible. It'll never happen. He said, in the future, right, when this information makes it to the future, it'll be possible. Now, is it possible?
Yeah.
Now, Nikola Tesla drew a patent for a device like this, said you could carry it in your pocket. And I'll be able to talk to you, you'll be able to talk to me no matter where we're at in the planet. We didn't have radio signal, Gorilla Glass, computer chips, nothing. And they were like, that's the dumbest thing we've ever heard. Get out of our government offices. That's stupidity. What is this? Nikola Tesla's device?
Yeah.
Or now, how do we have it? Now, they asked Nikola Tesla, how are you going to make that happen? I'll give it to kids to dream about. And people went, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And he said, well, you know who else used to give people things to dream about? Children? Da Vinci. What do we now? How do you have a laser beam? We put it on TV for a kid to dream about. So, right? So we have the world's greatest minds in the world giving information for children to dream about because they understood children can make it possible. While we're also today, without you hidden in plain sight, giving you information for the right child to see, to manifest in reality.
That makes sense.
Where's all the technology? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That makes sense, but don't you want to see it in your lifetime?
I mean, you do see certain things in your lifetime. It doesn't mean you'll see everything. You know how many things I've seen? I call them cognitive ripples. A cognitive ripple is a butterfly effect for conscious energy. People never understood me when I talked about that since I was what's up, Lorenzo, when I was a little child. They go, what the fuck are you talking about? Literally, like military men, like, what are you talking about? I'm like, a butterfly effect. Like, I can create an idea right now because I used to study, they would think Da Vinci and Tesla and all these people giving stuff to children was just crazy. And I looked at them and went, did any other ideas they actually gave to children happen? Is it real? You go, well, there's Tesla's dream. We go, Da Vinci. Do we have airplanes? There's his dream. How many people can I look back in time and go, what they dreamed of and gave to children, did it happen? Lots. Now, how are their ideas any different than mine? When it was an impossibility, when Tesla didn't have a freaking antenna. We didn't have an antenna. We didn't have radio waves. We had nothing for his nothing. None of that. Nothing even existed to even think about it. And do you have one today?
Yeah.
I mean, screens weren't even invented. There wasn't even a television. When he was like, we're going to put this device in pockets, they're like, how are you going to do it? He said, I'll just give it to some kids. They'll dream about it. They'll talk. I'll talk about it to you. You'll talk about it, and eventually it'll spread around the world, and somebody will make it happen.
Okay, that makes sense. I get that. That's kind of crazy to think about, though. Like,
I'm just giving kids information. And see if we can make it reality.
Is that your main goal then with your Instagram account to like? Was there first video that blew you out the gas can video that like kind of
was
made
what?
The gas can video where you're like my brother blew himself
No,
up?
I was massively famous outside of the country. So my family would always wonder why people would walk up, like you'd always have somebody who spoke broken English in my life walk up and ask me for an autograph. And my wife and my son and family, they never paid it. They were less like, I always tell them they mistaken me for somebody else. So I was hugely famous, and some people decided to do some dumb shit. And, the people who followed me from the beginning got to see the FBI and the military do some horrible, horrible things, and veterans do some horrible, horrible things, making sure children who are sexually exploited never trust the FBI and the military. But
so then
my whole thing with that was, it was I have autism. I have I don't have social skills or whatever very well. So somebody asked me about it because they were trying to explain it in a therapy class or whatever, and I was like, watch the video.
Okay, so
and, when you think about this, if you are part of the international community, watching me, and you don't know the people around me don't know I'm famous, and you have somebody like Josh saying, hey, the FBI and the military, they're stalking me, they're harassing me, they're psychologically torturing me, and eventually he kills himself. Mm-hmm. Right? And then, nobody actually got to see that happen though. But then you say, hey, look, I'm famous outside the country. Let's see if they come and do that to me. And literally, in real life, people got to watch the FBI and the military set up situations with my wife, psychologically and physically torture me and tell me to kill her. Take your life, kill the police, do all these things. Exactly what Josh Powell said was happening to him. The entire world of children, absent of adults, got to see, holy fuck, the military's out there getting people, the FBI's out actually setting up situations, veterans are actually setting up situations, trying to get people to shoot up schools, kill the police, kill their spouse. Now I'm going to tell you, if I'd have listened to them, right, because today they'll tell you it never really happened. If I would have done what they would have said, what I would have done, I'm a bad guy. Right? All my neighbors who set up rapes, it never happened. What does that do? So there's a whole sexually exploited community going, what the fuck is going on? You can kill anybody you want. You can, literally, that's attempted murder. My neighbor's breaking into my house and doing that shit, and the FBI forcibly removing my wife out of my house. Let me think about that. They are guilty of a felony. That's attempted murder. Setting up situations that they know leads to homicide and suicide. They're guilty of attempted murder. They committed felonies. And what is going on? We're protecting them. We're protecting people who make sure children never trust the FBI and the military.
So did this Instagram account allow you to basically
only in the States?
Only in the States, yes, that's right.
Only in the States.
And that's where you're living now, correct?
Well, yeah. But I mean, my foster kids and stuff like that came from the Middle East. They came from South America. They came from the United Kingdom. They came from Canada. They came from everywhere but the United States. And they go home, right? And how do I communicate with my children in the Middle East? I have a random Instagram account. How do I communicate with my children in South America? A random Facebook account. How do I communicate with my children in Canada? A random Instagram account. How do I communicate with the children who are coming to my house who don't necessarily want to call me?
You have to make those accounts to communicate with them?
I don't have to, but I mean, that's just how I do it. So, that's how I did it originally. So you have all these people watching, these children. For 20 years, I did a job for a sexually exploited community and drug mules. I did a job for 20 years. And then that community, and it got to see the military's out there raping people. The FBI, you want me to trust the FBI? They're fucking raping, setting people. They're trying to get Martin to kill his fucking wife. You want us to trust the FBI? We just got to watch them forcibly remove Martin's wife from his house, set up some situations, and then people tell him to kill her if he wants it to stop. Fuck, we ain't trusting the FBI. Hell no, we're not trusting the veterans. Hell no, we're not trusting the military. That's what they did, but they did it on purpose. Why would somebody do that on purpose?
Because of the information you have, right? Is that why?
Well, maybe the but okay, but why make sure sexually exploited women and children don't trust the FBI? Because regardless of the information I have, why make sure a sexually exploited community don't trust the FBI or the police?
I don't know why.
Well, maybe they're the customer. As the customer, what's your biggest concern? A sexually exploited children's going to turn you in? The kid you paid to diddle is going to turn you in? That's the only reason. What other reason is there for a military member, the FBI, or anything like that to make sure people don't trust them? The rest of the FBI. What would be the point of me making sure you never trust the FBI? I'd be the customer. I don't want to get turned in. How do I do that?
This is set up to make them money?
Well, I mean, my doctor was asking me about Helly Hansen. I made some information for Helly Hansen, and the international community got to watch. Literally, I got physically assaulted, rape scenarios set up, I psychologically tortured, and told, with the FBI helping remove my wife and do dumb shit, this information's worth millions of dollars. You will fucking walk away. You will fucking walk away from it. This information is worth millions of dollars. Fucking walk away.
How? Why?
It's worth money. Well, somebody get paid on the back end.
By you?
I didn't pay anybody. I was told I got hurt and forced to walk away. And I don't think people understand. I have autism. When I get hurt, I'm going to redo everything I did before, right? Repeat those Fibonacci sequences to repair my memory. Whether you made yourself look good or bad because you didn't realize children were watching is not my problem. You should be good from the very beginning, because I have meltdowns. I freak out.
And I don't get, how are you not dead yet then? How are they not killing you?
I've had aneurysm, traumatic brain injuries, kidney failure, liver failure. Been on dialysis. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. I got buried I woke up on the beach in a fucking garbage bag, buried under the sand. I'm fucking
Why are these
cursed
people out to
genetics.
get you? Is it all because of the information you have about? Is the information this quantum mechanics? Is that what the information is?
Well, I don't. So it probably is a little bit of the quantum mechanics, but they didn't realize I got my free education protecting a sexually exploited community, right? I didn't have the money to pay for all of that. It was provided for me. Somebody else foot the bill. Right? How did I get them to foot the bill for 20 years of college level education? Over 20 years.
You're memorizing.
I did a job.
You did a job.
I did a job. You were sexually exploited. You come to my house. I might teach you how to read the environment. Right? See in the dark of night like a Batman. Listen to nature's sidekicks like a robin that'll warn you when things are around you. I might, but I have a weird way. As a child, you understand that, right?
Yeah.
Right. I can tell you like an adult. Listen to the leaves. Da, 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 da. You're not going to understand that. But if I tell you, listen to nature's sidekicks like a robin, you'll see in the dark of night like a Batman. A child goes, well, what? I can see like Batman. What do you got to do? Listen to a bird. Why? Well, hear that cat coming over there? That bird just made a chirp. You hear that chirp over there? That's a sound the bird makes for a dog. You see that chirp over there? That's the sound a bird makes for a human.
No way.
Now you can hide with your. Now you can hide. Now you can hide in the ground if you're running. Wherever you need to hide, and you don't have to pop your head up and give your location away.
Oh my God.
If you ever need to get it, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, and I say, now listen. That's the sound a bird makes when whatever was moving, a human, a dog, or anything, stopped. It's still there. It's just not moving, so everything else will make noise. So just because you hear all that noise doesn't mean whatever was there is gone. It just means whatever was there stopped moving. Now hear this noise? That means whatever was there actually left. see in the dark of night like a Batman. I taught kids this. I got a weird perspective, man, and a sexually exploited community. That's a good thing to learn, don't you think?
Yeah, that's insane. How did you acquire this knowledge?
You want to you're injured. You get a knife wound or a bullet wound. You want to learn how to learn to stitch it up. You want to know how to make some things to take care of it at home. Whatever it is, I taught these kids this. I got an education.
Where'd you get this?
You get taught these things. You get taught these things.
You just learned it from the community you were in?
I got an education, both. So I get taken to a veteran, and they like, this is my specialty, right? This is my specialty, right? This is my specialty, healing wounds. This is my specialty, listening to nature. This is my specialty, tracking. This is my specialty, bomb making. This is my specialty, whatever it was.
And you're just able to absorb all that information and just never forget it.
Well, you forget sometimes, but it always comes. I don't know how to explain it. There's certain things they can teach you that trigger, a recall, a total recall. There's certain things they teach you that trigger a memory, and it comes back. Smells, sounds.
Okay. So, like, let's say I want to learn how to hear these bird calls to know what's going on around me. Like, if it's a cat, if it's a human, you would take something like that has a scent, a certain like distinct scent. You would smell it while you're learning this, and then when you're in that situation again, you need to smell something again or like you would smell.
Well, so when I learn things, listening to birds and nature. I pick up the dirt and I smell it. Learn to see in the dark of night. Listen to nature's sidekicks. Right? Next time my face is in the dirt, I'm going to remember that. I don't have to pop my head up.
Okay. So
I take my kid. If you were one of my foster kids, I'd take you in my yard and grab some dirt. You put it up to your face, and I'd tell you, listen to nature's sidekicks. Right? You'll see in the dark of night. Why? Because when your face is down, it's like the dark of night. But you're hearing, right? They're telling you everything that's going on. Right? Every time they smell dirt, they remember that. Right? The chemical action behind olfaction. You hear somebody, I walked by a bakery and I smelled nutmeg, and it reminded me of my grandma's cookies she made 40 years ago. You go, did you remember that in the previous 40 years? Absolutely not. Where'd that memory come from? The smell brought it out of light. Right? You study quantum cognition. The memory wasn't in my brain. It was in the smell, that chemical wave. That smell affected my synaptic fire to make the perfect spark to pull it back.
It's just kind of like to replicate it.
Exactly. But you do that. You can do that with all kinds of things.
What's the most useful thing that you've found when doing that?
I don't know. Everybody's different.
I see.
Everybody's different. My most useful thing wouldn't be your most useful thing.
Okay. I've learned so much. Like, I kid you not, I was up until 7 a.m. watching your videos. Like, I was just like, I watched the same video like over and over again, trying to like slowly pick it apart. I would go in the comments to see people type it out. Like, I was just trying to figure it out, I guess,
Well, I mean, I got chose to teach kids all kinds of weird shit that literally exists at the top of an intelligence agency, top of different branches of military, top of college. Why? Think of my dark of night like a Batman. Right now, you think of another one. I'll give you another one. Right? How do you teach a child in one of these positions to practice a ketogenic state to actually birth neurons and heal their body? I say, Bruce, watch some Bruce Lee. They watch Bruce Lee. I'd have you as a 12-year-old kid in my house watching Bruce Lee. You jumping around the house kicking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say, okay, do you want to enter the dragon? Well, fuck yeah, I do. Just think about it. Enter the dragon. Drag on without sugar. When you don't have sugar, you have to enter your consciousness and tell you, I need to get over these sugar withdrawals. I don't have the energy, but I need to do it anyways. Enter yourself and drag on. right? Unleash your ball of chi, your biology. It makes sense to children the way I put it. Unleash your ball of chi. Unleash your biology.
How many kids have you taught this? And this is like life-saving to them? This is saving their life, the things you were teaching them?
Well, I mean, it worked for me.
It must have if you've almost been killed dozens of times. Are you kidding
Well, I
me?
mean, I've had traumatic brain injuries and memory wipes. The kids actually got to see some members of the military tell me I need to hurt somebody or they're going to rape my wife. And then they got to see them try to wipe that memory out of my brain so that people wouldn't know they do that to make sure sexually exploited people can continue raping children.
How do they erase memories?
And the memory's back, so it works.
How did they erase?
I got dumped out on the street in Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
A town over from dumped in the street of Tacoma with a kidney failure, liver failure, and a traumatic brain injury. I got dumped on the street in Tacoma to die. They let children see that. I got literally the neighborhood, the house I was next to was a drug house, not a drug house. I should take that back, but it had kids in there that smoked pot and things like that. You know what I mean? The neighborhood went literally peeking out their windows like they dumped this dude here to die, and here I am today. Right? Those kids in those situations go, it works. They dumped me in the fucking street in the middle of the night to fucking, I had kidney failure and liver failures. They made sure they kicked me in my kidney failure and liver failure. What's the point of that? Making sure it completely fails so that I don't survive. I had an aneurysm. It hit me in my head on my aneurysm. What's the point of if you had an aneurysm and I know the slightest blow will kill you, why would I want to choke you out and hit you in the head? If I know if I hit you in the head and you've had an aneurysm, there's a good chance it will kill you. Why would I need to do that? Because I want to kill you. If I know you have kidney failure and liver failure, and I kick you in your kidney and your liver failure, why would I do that? Because I want you to fucking die. Children got to see that's what the FBI and the military set up.
What made these people, how did you make them so mad they wanted to kill you? Or what did you know that made them want to kill you?
I protected sexually exploited women and children. It's either that or my information about the quantum mechanics, because it's literally how every religion is made.
Did you protect all these children in the Middle East or in the States?
Here, they send them to my house.
Who sent them to your house?
Different government organizations, different places. I had secret room in my house. Like you ever hear that movie, that Children Under the Stairs? I had people living in the walls of my house, and they just come out in the daytime when nobody's home, take a bath, and then go back in the wall. I could have somebody here for 6 months. My family would never know. Had a little hole in the wall. I could feed them and everything.
Oh my God. You could probably make a lot of money with this information. Why aren't you doing that?
Well, I rely, I try to, a lot of people have made a lot of money off this information. It's about time the world learned some things for free. And if you guys want to help support me by donating to my GoFundMe and my PayPal, so be it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me someone else that there's 400 people in this room allegedly. When has somebody took the time to actually teach you what exists at the top of religions and physics is the same thing. The light of the world sacrificing itself on a crossover from energy and matter to actually give you your daily bread. How many people have taught you that? How many people cared about you guys enough to tell you the truth?
Nobody.
How many people cared enough about you to tell you, hey, the singularity of every religion's reality, the same location, their messenger, their son of God, their God, it's in the same spot. It's the same body of light. And it does have a head, right? Every religion will tell you you're created in the image of a creator. But nobody ever actually tells you the truth so we can make money off of you. How many people have ever taught, there's 400 people allegedly in this. How many have ever told you, hey, light actually has a body with a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. And in quantum field theory, it does cross over to sustain you. Without that sacrifice on that crossover, the light of the world crossing over, we wouldn't exist. We'd have no ATP to build any of the biology of humanity. We would not exist.
If I were you,
I got 24 seconds and my timer's up.
Oh,
that was a good. Think about that.
Hey,
Light has a body. Light has a body and it looks like yours.
You
and
gotta
it does
have me so
cross over.
You gotta add me so I can ask you more questions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you adding me to this call.
Yeah, guys, check out my GoFundMe, my PayPal, and my Cameo.
Read his book.